Good evening, world. Stephanie here with today's episode of Soil and Soul, brought to you by none other than Sacred Earth Essentials. So I'm going to read for you today a poem from this book I received or bought many years ago at an international herb symposium. It's called Green Musings by Dale Pandell. And then we're going to talk a little bit about elderberry here for a moment. Green Musings by Dale Pandell. For Stephanie, with best wishes for the green flow, Dale Pandell. Medicine. As dreams are the healing songs from the wilderness of our unconscious, so wild animals, wild plants, wild landscapes are the healing dreams from the deep singing mind of the earth. That was one of his shorter, less controversial poems. Many of his poems are, for example, Power Plants and Blue Witch, which I can read on another day, are poems about the plants that bring us to a higher communion with higher consciousness, about psychedelic plants. And so some people don't agree with the benefit of psychedelic plants or fungi, for example. And thankfully, for those of you who don't agree, that's not the topic of today's video. The topic of today's video is actually the wild, beautiful, and very, in my personal opinion, from my personal use, healing medicine of the plants. When I am not doing my meditation, my yoga, when I am not engaged in healthy eating practices or drinking teas or taking tinctures and syrups occasionally, or whatever it is that works for my particular body and health type, when I am not engaging in a self-care routine, no matter how many books I've read, how many classes I've attended, I'm not going to be healthy if I'm not actively engaging in those self-care practices. And thankfully, as the poem suggests, these wild plants and wild landscapes are the healing dreams from the deep singing mind of the earth. So the earth brings us these healing medicines. And without soil, we wouldn't have any of these healing medicines. We might have some of the synthetic things made in a laboratory, but we wouldn't have the healing natural medicine of just being in nature. We wouldn't have the fresh air to breathe, which is a necessity for life. We wouldn't have clean water to drink. We would not have food to eat. And we would not have beautiful elderberries to use for their medicinal properties. So elderberry, there's Sambucus nigra and Sambucus canadensis. This one, let's see here, look at how thick this stalk got. I'm so proud of these elderberries and thankful for them. I bought some of them years ago at Elmore Roots and transplanted them with me here when I moved from Barnet. And others are from, I believe, what is that catalog? This one's a Stark Brothers Adams elderberry. And when I got it, it was much smaller than this. And so canadensis is the American variety, whereas the Sambucus nigra is the European one. This is a canadensis variety. We're looking at soil here. So if you look at this soil, in my opinion, this is healthy, rich soil. It's dark, it's deep, it's moist, but it's not too wet. It has living organisms in it. There are no synthetic chemicals that I've ever put on here, nor the people before me. And so this allows for these really strong root systems to develop. And this trunk, this was not that thick when I bought it. And then when it's healthy, you know it's healthy because the plant proliferates. So some of these are just coming up from the root system. And it's like a whole separate tree right here that came up. And some of the time, the seeds that have fallen to the ground or that the birds have ate will also take root. And so this plant is well known for being used to help boost the immune system with the berries that grow on it. And the berries can be used, they're made and cooked into pies. They are cooked into syrups. You can also put them in tincture. You can make tea with them. Now we're not seeing the berries because it's not season yet, but I just wanted to show you this plant anyway to raise awareness for soil. So without rich soil, without mineral healthy soil, plants like these won't be able to produce healthy fruit. It's just like with a kid. The healthy beginnings matter. And what we continue to add into our person, regardless of what age we are, makes a difference in the fruit that will come out of it. Now these elderberries, elder trees here that I have, also have rich spiritual symbolism throughout different cultures. Some in Christianity, I've heard it said that this was the wood used to make the cross of Jesus. Knowing what I know about the elderberry tree, I don't know if that's true, but elderberry in other cultures, particularly fairy lore, for example, is one of the most protective trees. Look, there's a frog. The magic of animals. A wild frog. So without this rich soil, this little froggy here also wouldn't have a home. Say hi, froggy. Ribbit, ribbit. See why I work with kids? So the flowers are also used in medicine. The flowers are used. They can help with fever, for example. And there also, some people will make mead with the flowers and the berries, as well as elderberry wine. I particularly like to make an elderberry and hawthorne berry mixed syrup. Where did it go? Did he hop away? Oh, nope, he's still there. Are you tired of looking at this frog yet? The frogs. Alright. So it's the entire ecosystem. And so without the healthy soil, we don't have animals, we don't have each other, we don't have healthy fruit, we don't have delicious elderberries to help us boost our immune systems during times like these, and any time really. And again, you want to be cautious when taking any type of medicine, plant or pharmaceutical. Many of the pharmaceutical medications that I have worked with as a behavioral health practitioner have a much longer list of side effects and cautions than any plant that I've ever worked with, really, not counting the power plants. But elderberry has been known to be relatively safe when cooked. There is cyanide in the raw, mostly unripe berries. Do not eat the berries raw. They must also be cooked down. And many of you can find, I'm sure, an elderberry product at any of your basic, if you have an apothecary near you, it's all over the internet, small farms all around. I do carry an elderberry and hawthorn syrup that is also made with ginger, cinnamon, and echinacea. There's all kinds of recipes, and it goes well. You also put honey in that. And so there's a lot more to say about elderberry. I will be making more elderberry videos. There's also linalool, which is a terpene that is in the flowers, as well as terpenes that are related to the damask rose, for example. Look, there's the sun. And so without soil, we don't have any of this. Without soil, we don't exist. And so this is an intergenerational, interspecies, intercultural challenge for us, where the earth is sacred and we are too. The earth is deserving of respect and reverence, and without it, without the earth, without giving the earth respect and reverence and care, we will not exist. So remember, folks, Go in peace, plant some seeds, and be a blessing. Bye now.